Right now, I am in Marble Manor. I want to come out here personally to discuss the issues, talk to residents, and really get belly to belly with the people. I needed for them to be able to touch me and access me. So today I'm out here. It is Saturday. It is April 13th, and I'm out here with one of the residents who has agreed to talk to me. She's been very vocal in the community, but I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hello.
Okay, so can you tell the people in the city of Las Vegas what's your name?
Hello, Dr. Erika. My name is Maya McMillan. I am actually the former vice president of the historic Marble Manors Resident Council here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I am so displeased, so emotionally distraught. I have mental anguish and I am physically ill from all of the predatory practices along with the violence and things that I have occurred during my 4 years here at Marble Manor.
And can you tell everyone in the city of Las Vegas how long have you resided in Marble Manor?
I've resided here for 4 years. I've been a resident here at Marble Manor for 4 years. As a matter of fact, I'm currently on Morgan, but I used to live at 806 West McWilliams Avenue in the Marble Manor community. However, that residence had a lot of mold, a lot of various types of mold, black mold, asparagus, and all these other things. And due to that mold subjection, we were there for 3 years. Me and my son have acquired asthma. We have also have acquired bloody diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, headaches, body aches, coughing, sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, memory loss, just to name a few. And so I had to fight tooth and nail with the housing authority in order to get some assistance because as in documentation to the asset manager that we felt like we were dying and we needed help. They finally agreed to a mold test, which came back positive for all these different types of mold. We were transferred here to Morgan Avenue, and I am dealing with the same situations. This residence also has mold, and I am, as of this day, experiencing the body aches, the nausea, the vomiting, the headaches, bloody diarrhea, memory loss, all sorts of horrible things. Aside from that, I was on the resident council and I was vice president, and we made leadway. We implemented a food pantry for the residents. We were the liaison between the housing authority and the residents, and we fought tooth and nail with the housing authority, and we were able to help get a wash house established. And crime has lowered significantly as well because I be on the prowl. I'm watching everything and everybody. I'm gonna tell you right now because we ain't nobody got time for that. People have kids and families, and that's just not the way it should be. Aside from that, when I was sworn in, I was asked by the asset manager at the time, Mr. Eugene Ortega, to watch the current president, Madeline Rhodes, and let him know if she was doing anything wrong. And I have all of this documented, and I have the evidence of proof of all of my claims. And so that right there in itself just started like, whoa, what's going on? And after that, I noticed myself being watched by maintenance. I noticed my rent start being increased when I didn't have any income. After I had a major hysterectomy, on top of that, dealing with the mold and sicknesses, and it's so many things that we had so much pushback in regards to trying to better the community and give them the supportive services that they need to become self-efficient. And I understand why. It's because our poverty is their come up. Without us, there would be no housing authority because people wouldn't be on low income and wouldn't need the services. Aside from that,
and what about you said that your son had also you said that your son had also developed asthma.
yes,
because of the mold that is in your home.
yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So we've both been to the hospital, and we didn't have asthma prior to living here, but because of the mold exposure for 3 years on McWilliams, we have been diagnosed with asthma. We have to do daily albuterol treatments, and we have actually, because of the mold here in our current residence, have been to the emergency room. And again, I have evidence and pictures and records and medical documentation that we had to all have breathing treatments because we felt like we couldn't breathe. So, an example, we were really sick, as we still are, and I reached out to the housing authority and I asked for a mold test. And it took about a week, 2 weeks for them to be like, okay, you know what, fine, we'll do the mold test. They put us in a hotel. And then they said, hey, there's no mold. And I said, well, you're lying. And so I reached out to the actual inspector, requested the mold report. And the very next day, they say there's mold in your house. We're gonna get you out of there. So I believe it's only because I reached out to the inspector myself that they was like, okay, well, you know what, the truth's gonna come out. So let us get you out of there and see if there's mold or fix whatever problem. So come to find out, the house had this unit had previously been flooded, and there was mold in the restroom, in the laundry area, and she also noticed cracks in the children's bedroom. However, upon our arrival, after they had cleaned the mold out and made it a better place and safe place for us to reside, although I'm still sick and we're still sick, they did not properly document the work that was done in my children's room. However, I am in correspondence with them because my neighbors, upon my arrival, have come up to me without me approaching them, saying, "Hey, we saw some weird people enter into your unit. People in with rims and black people with paint buckets and all this." And so when I get home, my children's room, we had property damage that was unimaginable. The kids' school clothes, the clothes, furniture, the beds, the mattresses, the dressers, the computer. It was just like they was just like they're in there, yada 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 yada. Forget these people with no concern or no regard. And so we are working to resolve that.
Okay, and let me ask you this. Have you reached out to any of our current elected officials to discuss this
Wait, so
matter?
they didn't even address the laundry room issue, where
What's happening in the laundry room?
so the laundry room is where the washer and dryer connection is there for residents' use if they would like to use it. However, when the inspector came, she actually took a physical sample, and upon removing that sample, she found mold inside of the drywall on the sample. And that was the area that they did not at all touch. They didn't do anything about that. They did the bathroom, but they didn't do the the laundry room, and they didn't document the children's room that they did because of the mold in the ceiling. And what was your question?
My question was, have you approached any of our current elected officials about this problem? Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I have reached out to the management at the housing authority here locally. I have reached out to William McCurdy and his secretary, who is the commissioner of the housing authority. I have also reached out to Stephen Horsford, which is one of the officials in the White House. And I've also reached out to HUD with a complaint. However, nobody has responded. They've responded, but like, oh, thank you for the information. And there has been no resolve, or nobody cares. Nobody cares, and nobody is willing to do anything. They only are concerned about the redevelopment, which it's interesting because we know that these units were built in 1956, and they were used to house the African American military soldiers. They didn't have running toilets, electricity, nor they didn't have toilets, electricity, nor water. And up to date, here we are again. However, we may not be in the military, although I am a military veteran, single mother, and the standards and the treatment is it's kind of the same. I have a slogan that I would like for you to take on. My poverty is your come up. And I say that because they are keeping us oppressed. And I say that because there's been a lot of positive actions that we have been trying to implement in the resident council. We've had a lot of pushback. An example, just the wash house. There's 255 units here with a lot of families to say, period, people, period, that live here. However, why wouldn't you want to implement a wash house? Because they don't care. It's cheaper to not have the wash house, not have to fix the wash house, not have to keep it up. It's cheaper not to for us to hang our clothes on the line like this is 1952. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. That is not okay. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Aside from that, the emotional damage, the physical damage, we just need a change, and we need an elected official, unlike Cedric Greer, who has promised so many things and hasn't came through. The housing, the people are still in the same state as they were before, with every elected official, every commissioner, with no progress. We've had a shooting here, and we've had multiple shootings right in front of my residence where it was taped off, and until someone dies or somebody kills themselves and somebody gets hurt or it's serious and 3 or 4 units get shot up, that's when the housing authority wants to come out and make themselves be seen. Other than that, they don't care because, you know, I live here for 4 years. I've dealt with roaches and rats and violence and mold and predatorial practices and all kind of crazy things. And even my children are subjected to this. So if I'm going through this, who else is going through this? So we just want to know who is that official who is going to actually make a change.
Okay, I want to say this because as I've been throughout Marble Manor today, walking and talking to all the residents, it's the same consistent theme. And I really want to say today, enough is enough. I've heard about the mold in everybody's home. I've heard about the gun violence. I've heard about the rats and just the unclean, unsanitary. It's just, and I want to tell the people today that I am the people's choice for this very reason. I'm the only one that's been out here hands on to talk to people, to meet with people, to discuss their needs, find out what's really going on out here. Because if you're not talking to the people, how do you know what's really going on? Or is it that you just don't care? You've heard her call out certain elected officials. You've heard her call out Cedric Creer, who is the current councilman for Ward 5. You've heard her call out the county commissioner for District D, William McCurdy
May
II.
I intervene? So our head of director is Mr. Lewis Jordan, and if you look him up, he has currently lost a lawsuit in California. He worked for the housing authority out there. However, I don't know all the details. I don't want to say anything that's wrong, but he lost a lawsuit in regards to stealing money or whatever it was bad, and the people sued him from the housing authority and he lost. So now he's out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And so I just have a major concern because the system is already corrupt. We are already dealing with corrupt people in the office, and so, like, well, if the director is corrupt, then I mean, we need to start from the head up. We don't need to just tackle the surface problems. We need to actually reform this whole thing because look around, people. These are our people. Whether you or not you love people or you like, I don't care. That's ridiculous. You need to get an understanding that we need to all care about each other and help each other, so therefore we can make a change. We need to move according to God and God's will and purpose. And if you just take out one person or two people, what about the rest that are corrupt and doing bad things? this needs to be reformed because it's been a perpetual cycle of poverty over the last 50 years, and it's just repeating itself over and over and over again. Yeah, they may want to redevelop only because they want to bring more money into this area and it benefit the housing authority. However, did you not know that in 1956 when this was built, they actually after that they built this bridge, and that bridge actually start to segregate the city, and that displaced 200 families, and only 100 were able to return. So what's going to happen to the people here at Marble Manor? What's going to happen to the elders who have nobody to care for them, to think about them, to love them, to help them? Just like we need to start thinking big, people, because this is horrible, and I'm sick of people living like this, period. There's black people here, there's white people, Mexican, Indian. I love everybody because I love God. And you know what? I'm going to just say, we need to get it together because this ain't right and it ain't tight. I tell you what, if I die here because of this mode, well, somebody's going to have to answer God.
And I really thank her for having the courage to come out and speak to us and really tell us her personal story and how she's been an advocate out here for the residents of Marble Manor. But we're calling out some people today because I'm going to tell you something. This is unacceptable on every level. We're calling you out, Congressman Stephen Horsford. We're calling out Councilman Cedric Creer. We're calling out County Commissioner William McCurdy. We're calling out Chandra Summers Armstrong, Assembly District 6, who is over this area. We as a people, she is absolutely correct. We as a people have to do better. We have to stand together. And if you're not about that life and about really helping people and being an advocate for people, then you need to go ahead and resign from your position. And I'm going to talk to the people. People, it's election season. Guess what? You get to vote on these people. You get to vote. So you hear me calling names. You're very familiar with these names. If you see that they're running for office, know that they're not for you. They're not for the people. You need to understand that. If you see it and you put them in office 4 years ago or 2 years ago, and you see that you're in the same position now and nothing's moved and there's been no progress, then look at that and say, wait a minute, these are not the people I need to put back in office. I don't need to keep doing this over and over. What is that called? Insanity. So we have to do better as a people and come together and say, you know what? I'm looking for better. I want better for me. I want better for my family. I want better for my future legacies. You see these children out here? Those are our future. That's our legacy. So if we're not doing better now, we have to do better to clear that path for our legacies, for our children, for our grandchildren, for our children's children. This is important. We cannot do the same thing we've been doing, community. Come on, get behind me, work with me, come join me. My name is Dr. Erika Smith. I am the People's Choice candidate for Las Vegas City Council Ward 5. So let me tell you when you can vote. Early voting starts May 25th through June 7th. Then the actual day of the primary is Tuesday, June 11th. Also, you're able to vote through a mail-in ballot as well as be in person. So you want to start looking at your mailbox around May because you'll be receiving your ballot. You'll see all the names on there. So make sure you'll see my name, Erika the Choice Smith.
Hello, this is Maya McMillan here, former first vice president of the historic Westside Marble Manor Resident Council. However, in my opinion, I would vote for Dr. Erika Smith. I invite you to do the research, learn about your past officials, and just hear what she has to say and what she represents. Take the time to find out what's right and be sure to get out there and vote because your vote does make a difference. We the people have the power, okay?